Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolitz. Hoping that you will not skip my ads. It's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Xavier shot a cold glare at Murphy and ignored him. Instead, he asked Zane.
Zane, what is going on? Let's hear what you have to say. If the fault is yours, I will not forgive you, but if it is not, the people responsible will not get away with it.
As he spoke, he glanced at Murphy with pure scorn in his eyes.
You!
Murphy snorted coldly, turned around and ordered Zane.
Confess your fault quickly, will you?
Zane slowly explained everything that had happened from Amara's beating to the fight with Liu, down to how Murphy had brought them to the Dragon Spiral Hall. His recounting was objective and fair. A cold smile appeared on the corner of Murphy's mouth as he looked at Zane with a fierce glint in his eyes and began verbally attacking Xavier.
Xavier, you have also heard how your disciple dealt with the issue. How dare he bring his personal feud to Trade Street? It would send an unseemly message if we don't penalize him, no? Should the head of the Titan Academy find out, you might not be able to keep your position as the Dean of the Azure Dragon Academy.
Xavier's expression changed, not for the worse. Instead, he was actually a little happy.
Good job. That was a good call. You should beat him indeed.
His reaction stunned the other three people present. Zane's eyes widened in disbelief.
You're even with Liu. It seems that I've underestimated you. I have high hopes for you in this sect competition. If you can't show the strength you did today, you will have me to answer to.
However, when Murphy saw the strange scene, he became angry.
Xavier, did I hear it wrong? Have you just praised him? If you don't handle this matter properly, I will report it directly to the head of the Titan Academy.
Xavier stood up. His energy and aura surged out from his body and caused the air in the void to suddenly distort. It was as if an iron wall mountain had descended from the sky. The two of them suddenly felt their bodies sink and their breathing became laborious. Murphy was fine. After all, he had the strength of an early-stage advanced level practitioner. However, Liu was wincing as his lips slowly turned pale and he began to see stars. Xavier slowly walked toward Liu and looked around him. Instead of blaming Zane, he scolded him harshly.
Liu, you are indeed a madman. How dare you hurt my disciple under my watch?
Then he suddenly raised his palm, and a blast of chaotic air gathered in his hand and swirled, gathering into a horrible vital energy ball. An overwhelming force almost tore everything below into pieces. Liu was so scared that his face turned pale. He almost fainted.
Xavier, what are you trying to do?
Murphy was equally astonished.
Before coming here, I had expected that Xavier would fumble for various reasons to protect his disciple. However, I never expected that he would be so bold as to touch my people in front of me. If someone gets to know, I will be made fun of.
Murphy was about to fight with Xavier, but at the same time, the vital energy in Xavier's hand vanished, leaving only his hand on Liu's shoulder. He didn't use any vital energy, nor did he exert any force. Instead, his hand gently landed on his shoulder, feather-like. Despite that, Liu's knees gave way and he slumped to the ground. His chest rose and fell and he broke into a cold sweat as if he had survived a disaster.
Nothing really. I'm just teaching him a lesson.
Teach him a lesson? Funny. So this is the rule of the Azure Dragon Academy? It has been an enlightening experience indeed. If this is the case, you won't be able to sit long in the dean's seat. The day Chief finishes his closed-door training will be the day you lose.
Zane's heart dropped to his stomach, and he began to worry. Could things really turn out like this?
Oh, I don't know if the chief will listen to you or me when he comes. The cause of this matter is the people of your White Wolf Academy. My disciple Zane was just showing the natural reaction of an ordinary warrior.
How dare you?
Murphy was instantly enraged and his body trembled with anger.
It is clearly Zane who cut off Holden's arm first. How is White Wolf Academy the cause? Wasn't this what you said just now?
Then he strode to the front of Zane and scolded him.
Wasn't this what you said just now?
Zane instantly reacted and felt a huge burden off his chest. He was calm, relaxed even.
No, it was Willa and Holden who caused trouble in my courtyard first and even hurt my family members. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone to the Four Symbols Alliance.
Zane's tone was firm and unwavering.
For a mere maid, she would not even be missed in her death.
These words struck Zane like lightning. There was a flash of lightning. He couldn't wait to draw his sword and fight 300 rounds with his opponent.
A mere maid? She's not a maid, she's my family. And in the future, I'll exchange my disciple token for her to join the Five Spirit sect. If you say she is just a maid, then Holden is just a nominal disciple. What's the big deal about a broken arm? Anyway, there are many ways to connect bones. If you're willing, Murphy, I don't mind personally refining a batch of elixirs for him.
Murphy's palm suddenly condensed with the momentum of a thunderstorm. It rushed towards Zane in a flash. In an instant, a hurricane swept over. Every inch of wind was like a sharp blade tearing at Zane. He braced himself and used the second move of the three-star step, turning it into numerous shadows. At the same time, 10 white lights lit up on his body and he activated his iron body. The dragon blood sword appeared in his hand, and the ultimate sword will was condensed in it. He slashed. The explosive sword light flashed across the sky, but it was instantly crushed by the palm.
Oh no! Sword shield!
He clenched his teeth and condensed a sparkling green sword shield on his arm. He wrapped himself up and planted his legs on the ground.
He actually intends to confront me head on.
In the heart of the dragon's spiral hall, tension crackled like static in the air. The vast chamber, usually filled with an aura of serene power, now felt like the eye of a brewing storm. Murphy's eyes flared with hatred, glowing with an intensity that made the very air around him shimmer. He advanced, his movements deliberate and menacing, determined to give Zane Martel one final devastating blow. The hall's lights blazed, reflecting off the polished stone walls and creating a dazzling spectacle, as if ready to engulf him. Energy swirled around Murphy, a maelstrom of raw power that seemed to draw the very breath from the room. Each step he took echoed like a death knell, the promise of violence palpable. Zane stood his ground, his heart pounding in his chest, aware of the impending danger but unwilling to back down. Just as Murphy prepared to strike, a shadow moved with lightning speed. But suddenly, Xavier stepped in front of Zane. His arrival was like a gust of wind dispelling the heat of a fire. With a single fluid motion, he countered the attack, his hand moving so swiftly it was almost a blur. The clash seemed to last forever, yet it happened in a mere heartbeat. Energy exploded outward, sending shockwaves through the hall. The very ground beneath them trembled. Xavier's face twisted with fury, his eyes burning with righteous indignation. Yellow light enveloped his head, casting a foreboding glow that illuminated the entire hall. His presence was overwhelming, a beacon of power and authority.
An attempted murder in my hall? Murphy, you overestimate yourself.
The oppressive aura suffused the hall, as if a beast were ready to tear Murphy apart. The air grew thick with tension, making it hard to breathe. The other disciples, who had been watching in stunned silence, took several steps back, eyes wide with fear and awe. Xavier's power was like a wild, caged beast, barely held in check.
If you want to fight, then bring it on.
A blast of air surged from Xavier, rippling through the hall with the force of a tempest. Murphy, finally feeling the weight of Xavier's power, hesitated. The oppressive force was unlike anything he had ever encountered. His confidence wavered, and he took a step back, his bravado faltering.
You'd better keep your disciple out of the sect competition. If he participates, he won't leave alive or unscathed.
Murphy's words hung in the air, a dark promise that sent shivers down the spines of those present. But the menace in his voice couldn't hide the fear that had crept into his eyes. Xavier clenched his fists in rage but restrained himself in front of Zane. He knew that a rash move now could have dire consequences.
Master,
But Xavier unexpectedly didn't blame him. Instead, he sighed and placed a hand on Zane's shoulder, speaking like a friend. His touch was firm, reassuring, a stark contrast to the violence that had just occurred.
The White Wolf Academy is arrogant. You've seen it, haven't you? They think they're above everyone, even us at Azure Dragon Academy.
Zane nodded, understanding the bitter truth of their situation. The differences between the disciples of the four major academies were stark. Azure Dragon Academy, often last in the competitions, was seen as weak. It was a stigma that they bore every day, a constant reminder of their struggles and failures.
Master, don't worry. I'll ensure White Wolf Academy doesn't succeed in the sect competition, especially Murphy. His disciple Liu will pay.
Xavier's eyes softened, a rare moment of pride shining through his stern exterior. He knew the road ahead would be difficult, fraught with danger and challenges, but for the first time in a long while he felt a glimmer of hope. Together they would face whatever came their way.
Good, but remember, your actions were impulsive. You could have died if not for my intervention. As punishment, you'll be in detention until the sect competition. Train in seclusion, and I will guide you personally.
Zane's heart soared. This was the opportunity he needed. The chance to train under Xavier's direct guidance was rare and invaluable. He knew that with Xavier's help, he could greatly improve his skills and perhaps even surpass his limits. The thought of emerging stronger and ready to face the challenges ahead filled him with renewed determination. He bowed deeply to his master, his voice filled with gratitude and resolve.
Thank you, Master. I won't let you down.
With a final nod from Xavier, Zane turned and left the hall, his mind already racing with plans for his intense training regimen. He knew he had to make the most of every moment, every piece of advice Xavier would offer. Returning home, Zane was greeted by Alora, who had been waiting for him. Her arms were crossed, and she wore an expression that was a mix of relief and irritation.
Way to go, Zane! Not only have you been missing, but you've also hidden a beauty in your abode. Growing some backbone, aren't you?
Zane was stunned, realizing she must have seen Amara. His mind raced as he tried to think of a way to explain the situation without causing a misunderstanding.
You already know. Actually, I can explain.
Alora's face darkened, her voice trembling as she cut him off.
You really have a woman inside?
Just as despair took over her, Amara emerged from the shadows, her face etched with concern.
Young master, you're back. Are you all right? Miss Alora, thank you for taking care of him.
Recognition dawned on Alora, her face reddening with embarrassment. She looked back and forth between Zane and Amara, realization hitting her.
You tricked me? Huh, I'll ignore you.
Let me introduce you, Alora, my partner, Amara, who has cared for me since childhood.
Alora softened, understanding Zane's loyalty. Together they laughed and shared stories of Zane's past. The tension melted away, replaced by camaraderie and mutual respect. They spent hours talking, the bond between them growing stronger. In the following month, Alora often visited Amara. The two became close sisters, balancing their time between training and companionship. They shared secrets, dreams, and fears, their friendship deepening with each passing day. At the same time, Alora didn't delay her cultivation. She focused intently, and in the end, she broke through to the 6th stage of the foundation level, stabilizing herself at mid-stage. With the help of Alora and Zane, Amara's cultivation advanced by leaps and bounds, reaching the 9th stage of the body-tempering realm. As for Zane, his days were a relentless cycle of training. If he wasn't training in seclusion in the Dragon Prison, he was heading to the Dragon Spiral Hall. At the Dragon Spiral Hall, Zane received Xavier's private guidance, each session pushing him closer to his full potential, his skills sharpening and his confidence growing. What challenges await them? Will Zane's training be enough to overcome the White Wolf Academy's dominance? The answers lay just beyond the horizon, in the heart of the sect competition. The stakes had never been higher, and the outcome was uncertain. The revered dean of the Azure Dragon Academy, Xavier, had mentored Zane extensively on cultivation from the esteemed perspective of an intermediate-level practitioner. Xavier's presence was a beacon of wisdom and strength. and his guidance was a blend of sternness and subtle encouragement, providing insights on both cultivation and combat. He granted Zane access to the Academy's exclusive incense pool, a privilege reserved for the most promising students, where the air was thick with the scent of rare herbs and the water glowed with a soft, ethereal light. After a month of rigorous training and countless hours of meditation, Zane's cultivation had reached the 6th stage of the foundation level. He had unlocked the 3rd vital meridian within his body, the Heaven Meridian. This was a significant milestone, for the 3 vital meridians, Heaven, Earth, and Human, coursed through his body, channeling an abundant flow of vital energy, like rivers of power surging through his veins and filling him with indomitable strength. Unlike others, whose vital energy resembled a mere stream, Zane's vital energy roared like a mighty river, a testament to his relentless dedication and Xavier's expert guidance. During Zane's period of intense retreat, the entire 5-Spirit sect buzzed with electric tension. Disciples, especially those preparing for the sect competition, trained with relentless determination, their faces set in fierce concentration. The atmosphere was charged, each disciple pushing themselves to their limits, hoping to catch a glimpse of greatness. The day of the sect competition arrived, igniting a fervor within the sect. The competition, a prestigious event, was open only to the personal disciples of the elders from the 4 major cultivation academies. The sun rose over the mountains, casting a golden glow, and the anticipation was palpable. Watching these skilled disciples was a rare privilege, providing valuable insights for ordinary disciples, who gathered in groups, whispering excitedly, their eyes shining with eagerness and curiosity. Elora visited Zane's courtyard early that morning, ready to accompany him to the competition. The courtyard was a serene oasis with blooming flowers and the gentle sound of a nearby stream. Elora's presence was calming, her gentle smile offering a moment of peace before the storm.
Elora, don't worry. I have reached the 6th stage of the foundation level. With my talent and effort, I'll soon break through to the intermediate level. Then, the purple energy poison in your body will be cured.
Zane's voice was filled with unwavering resolve, his eyes burning with the intensity of his promise. He had trained relentlessly, pushing his limits day and night, and he was on the brink of a breakthrough that would change everything.
Zane, I really appreciate it.
Elora's voice trembled with emotion. She had suffered from the purple energy poison for years, its insidious tendrils sapping her strength and vitality. Zane's determination to save her was a beacon of hope in her darkest hours, strengthening their bond.
Do you know the rules of the sect competition?
Zane's mind was already turning to the upcoming battles. He needed every piece of information, every advantage he could muster to ensure his success.
Yes, the competition is between the 4 major cultivation academies. It's divided into 3 parts, with the 11th stage of the foundation level as the limit. The groups are formed based on stages, but usually those above the 4th stage participate. The rules are simple. No summoning demonic beasts, no killing. Any severe injuries are promptly treated by the elders. Each person can only fight once. If you win, you stay in the ring. If you lose, you step away.
Elora's explanation was thorough, her knowledge a testament to her own dedication and intelligence. She knew Zane would need every detail to navigate the competition's challenges.
So, if a yard recruits many personal disciples, it could become a battle of attrition, giving them an advantage in scoring higher points.
Zane mused on the strategic implications. Numbers could turn the tide, but only if those numbers were skilled and disciplined. The competition would test not just individual prowess, but the collective strength of the academies.
True, but if their quality is substandard, it just hands points to their opponents. The Celestial Turtle Academy once secured 3rd place this way.
They arrived at the majestic mountain peak where the competition was held. Unlike usual private duels, this was the Titan Academy's territory, mysterious and revered within the 5-Spirit sect. The peak was enveloped in mist, surrounded by towering mountains, creating an ethereal atmosphere. As the colorful light shone through, a sense of immortal chi filled the air. The The summit was vast, with more than 50,000 spectators filling the stands. The disciples of the 4 major cultivation academies continued to pour in. 3 massive rings floated in the air, adorned with golden runes and flickering vital energy, ensuring the battles didn't spill out into the audience. The sheer scale of the event was overwhelming. The noise of the crowd, the murmur of excited conversations, and the crackling energy of anticipation created an electric atmosphere. Banners fluttered in the wind, each bearing the emblem of a different academy, their vibrant colors standing out against the misty backdrop.
Look over there! The battles are broadcasted to the audience through that screen.
Elora pointed to an enormous shimmering screen suspended in the air, its surface rippling like water as it displayed the ongoing matches. The screen's magical formation was a marvel of ancient technology, allowing every spectator a perfect view of the action.
What a magical formation.
Zane marveled at the ingenuity and power behind the formation. He could feel the faint hum of vital energy in the air, testament to the skill of those who had crafted it. This was more than just a display. It was a statement of the Academy's prowess and heritage. Suddenly, a powerful aura descended from the sky, accompanied by a loud noise. A dazzling light faded to reveal a group of figures standing in midair. The leading figure, a handsome man in his early 20s, exuded immense pressure, freezing the air around him. The crowd fell silent, the sheer force of the aura leaving them breathless. The man's presence was like a storm, powerful and unyielding. His eyes scanned the crowd with a cold, calculating gaze, and the air seemed to crackle with his energy.
It's Alex White, the Dean of the White Wolf Academy. The elders of the White Wolf Academy are behind him. What terrifying pressure.
Among them was Murphy. The inner and outer disciples of the White Wolf Yard erupted in cheers, their voices a roaring wave of support and admiration. Alex White led his group to the area designated for the White Wolf Academy with a cold demeanor. The other 2 academies' leaders arrived in a more low-key fashion. Then a gust of strong wind announced the arrival of the Azure Dragon Academy. Though fewer in number, their presence commanded respect. The arrival of the Azure Dragon Academy was marked by a dramatic change in the atmosphere. The air seemed to hum with power, and the disciples moved with a quiet confidence that spoke volumes about their strength and discipline. The deans of the 4 academies had designated areas, with the White Wolf Academy and the Fire Scorpion Academy in the middle, and the weaker Celestial Turtle Academy and the Azure Dragon Academy on either side. Murphy of the White Wolf Academy couldn't resist mocking Xavier.
Mr. Xavier, I'm well prepared this time. I must see the disciples in my academy taking first place. Is that what's his name, disciple of yours? Oh, right, Zane. Is he all prepped?
Murphy's words dripped with condescension, his smirk widening as he glanced at Zane. The challenge was clear, and the air around them grew colder with the tension. Xavier remained calm, but Zane's eyes burned with determination. The competition was about to begin, and the stakes had never been higher. Would Zane's rigorous training and newfound strength be enough to face the challenges ahead? As the crowd's anticipation peaked, the question hung in the air. What would the next few hours hold for Zane and his companions? The battle for supremacy was about to unfold, and the outcome remained uncertain. The air was thick with anticipation. Every eye in the vast arena focused on the rings. Zane took a deep breath, feeling the energy of the place seep into his bones. This was it, the moment he had been preparing for. The future was unwritten, and anything could happen. As he looked at the towering figures of his competitors, he knew one thing for certain. He would give it his all, no matter the cost.